Wake me up before you go. Yeah. Look at that. We're starting real early in real life, and also with the references today, because that's a Wham reference if I ever.
No, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if early would like be a devoid, black hole of lack of energy. But apparently, we're just on top of it. We're just good to go.
I got my coffee. I'm in it. I slept at least 7 hours. I'm good. I think I'm good.
At least 7 hours. That's I feel like a lot of people can't say that every day. So
no,
that's solid.
I mean, I personally can't either. But I mean, okay. But we have to say why we decided to go with Wham today, because one, it's a new thing.
And we had a big debate about it.
Right, we did have a big debate about it, but that is, we have decided that we kind of want to do something interesting with our onomatopoeia that we open our show with, obviously. But specifically for this one, because the coolest thing that ended up being the deciding factor for me and Jacob is that that's not the only onomatopoeia in this panel that starts this chapter 40 panel of One Piece for us. It's also the
tink.
Yeah, the tink of which you could definitely miss, which is the Kuro glasses all the way in the foreground of the panel, hitting the floor saying tink. Great, awesome.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome.
No, and the debate was all like, hey, it's not a panel 1 onomatopoeia. Mm-hmm. We're just panel 1 onomatopoeia people, or da-dums. And no, it was cool, so we had to talk about it. But
right?
You know what?
And it's all because why would we care about any of this stuff? Why would we go into details about these panels?
Yeah, well, who's Kuro? What is an onomatopoeia? Why are there these things in this panel, foreshortening? All this crazy stuff is because we are the Grand Line Tourist podcast, a chapter by chapter examining or re-examining of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece. I am your tourist, Jacob Jarecki, and sitting across me from the interwebs with, what most people would qualify as a good amount of sleep is none other than
Eric Sivu, tour guide.
All right.
Sleep monitor of self, and 3 semesters into maritime law lawyer. I don't know if you're allowed to call yourself a lawyer if you didn't finish, or probably just law student. Maritime
I feel
law.
Like it's like the fake it till you make it sort of idea.
Yeah, that's fair. Maritime law dropout is probably what I should just declare myself as.
That third semester was going on for a long time now.
Yeah, I'll go back eventually. I'll finish my degree. I'll see if UCI has a maritime law path.
Well, you know what? There's actually a path that I wish they had for you, and I wish that was the path of
least
manga artist, because we have a beautiful, as promised, drawing from none other than Eric over there of Chibi Buggy.
Letters at port. This is the section.
Yes.
We'll talk about this. I did it. I promised it.
It's our miscellaneous section at the start of the podcast where either we send ourselves stuff or you send us cool stuff to talk about. And in this case, Eric is following up on his demand from all the tourists and tour guides out there to make do on his promise to draw Chibi Buggy. And it has happened before the deadline that he arbitrarily
that I gave myself
set for himself. And it's lovely. Oh, there's even some shading on the nose. This will be in the show notes so you can all take a gander. But, some nice call outs are, he has a cape, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. You know what? It's kind of cool seeing your drawing of it, because I actually feel like there's details that you've taken attention to that I sometimes miss, because Chibi Buggy usually isn't so straight on in a normal panel. This is like, standard pose Chibi Buggy. And so things I missed, I didn't realize he had crossbones on his eye,
Yeah, I didn't either until I drew him.
Yeah, no, you kind of notice a little more detail. So the crossbones on the eye and the cape are the things that, just kind of caught me off guard today. I was like, oh, look at that. And I kind of compared with, is this, even in this chapter as well, chapter 40, we have a bit of Chibi Buggy to compare to, if you check out the Buggy's Crew After the Battle Part 5, a game of wits with Chibi Buggy trying to capture
this gigantic
bird. Seagull. Yeah, Skybird. Yeah, Skybird, the one that carried Luffy, of course.
Yeah, the one with the, he also has like a top knot, the bird, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the head thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wait, what'd you call it? A top dot?
A top knot?
Oh, a top knot. Like, that's a top knot of hair. No, very cool. And it's kind of weird that top knot of hair for a bird exists. Like, hair
Not in this
on
world.
birds, I realize now it's actually a pretty funny thing in itself.
Yeah, it's great, and I love how the bird like completely sees through his trap. It's just he's lifting his trap up. It's great. I love this. I love this. There's so much stories going here. Him laughing on the side. You see his desire. You see his wants, and you know what's cool also about this little cover page is that he's having the thought. At the same time, you see the little spike dialogue there. It's actually showing that the bird has the same thought. Like, but the bird,
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
mind blown. This is a technique I don't even know if I've ever even seen in a comic before or a manga. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna reiterate it because it is really cool.
Yeah,
a thought bubble that is, Buggy having the plan that I'm gonna capture this bird, and then the bird
with
seeing
the pitfall trap. We should probably clarify. He set up a pitfall.
Like a little like a piece of rug or something that you can fall right into, fall into the trap. And the bird is thinking the exact same thing because it just noticed the trap and is thinking this is what Buggy's gonna do to me, and Buggy's thinking this is what's gonna happen. And there's the thought bubbles going to both of them.
I love how and the title of this specific section is called A Game of Wits, which is very ironic and very funny because he's being outwitted by this bird.
Oh my goodness, we are starting off hot here today. And okay, before we move on, I just wanted anything else you want to share about the drawing of Chibi Buggy? Was it difficult? Was it?
It was fun. I had fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. The hardest thing, and I still struggle with this because I drew a bunch of chibi stuff for the Digimon game because they required me to have tokens. I didn't have tokens, so I decided to draw tokens. Hands. I don't know how to draw hands, dude. Like, and I still will not know how to draw hands.
Well, I think your circles work.
Yeah,
as like clenched hands, right?
Yeah, at the end I decided just to kind of give up and do hands. Give up hands and just draw little circles. It kind of worked, but I had fun. This is the first time drawing in a notebook, which kind of helped because I ended up using the space line, like the line spacings, to measure a lot of stuff. Which I kind of need because I'm not very good at being consistent without some sort of measurement. So.
And it also reveals that I think on the reverse notebook page you were tallying something up. There's like a faded tallies. Yes. So I don't know if you're a prisoner of war and you're just like, how many more days do I got in here?
No, I was playing Digimon originated from a Tamagotchi type of thing.
Okay.
So I was using that to tally. What was I tallying? Battles, because certain Digimon need X amount of battles to Digivolve. It was a lot. It was involved. My new thing is kind of trying to log more stuff I'm doing. I do it with my fish tank too. I have like a water change log and stuff like that.
Whoa! This is we'll have to dive into this more offline. It sounds very interesting. Okay, that said, we need to move along to our itinerary for Chapter 40, Usopp'ss Pirate
Why don't you
Crew.
clue everybody in on the itinerary while I take a sip of water?
All right. Okay. Today, Captain Kuro was just defeated. We kind of expected it. We saw it happening. We see the last moments of that, happening. And we already talked about the one panel where glasses of Kuro are on the ground. That is a sign of defeat if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Django as well is also on the ground, completely defeated after being shot by Usopp, taken down by Zoro, having just cut the tree blade out of the way so that the shot could get through. And now Usopp is, talking with his youthful pirate crew as well as Kaya, and is discussing this idea that he wants to keep everything a secret so that the lives of the villagers are not lives of fear. So he's not interested in any sort of credit. He just wants to kind of move on from what's going on here. And ultimately, everyone agrees to go along with that plan. We kind of bounce back to the town, and we see the town not really knowing what's going on. In fact, they're only worried about the fact that Usopp has not come about with his normal morning alarm, and they're actually kind of freaking out because of that. Just imagine if we told them that there was an actual pirate invasion, if this is what happens when their regular alarm clock doesn't happen.
Right, exactly.
We also get this wonderful couple of panels of Usopp's pirate crew dealing with their mornings where they're kind of getting told off by their parents for a variety of reasons, which we'll go over later for sure. Now, we bounce over to Mary getting bandaged up by Kaya.
They waited this long to bandage him up, man. Like
I was thinking, I thought of I was gonna call that out, but then I said, you know what? Maybe he bandaged himself up, and then they needed to change the bandages, and I was like, that could also be a thing. But I thought the same thing. Yeah, because it would have been a while.
I know. You know what? Ichiro Oda, if you're listening to this, definitely write us in. Let us know.
Oh yeah, we need to know, is that a bandage change, a bandage refresh, or are those the initial bandages and Mary is just like grunting on the floor trying to stay alive? Usopp then declares to his crew the desire to go off to sea alone. Yep. Like a bold, new, emblazoned young man that he is. Mm-hmm. But we have a gut-wrenching flashback to when him and his crew met for the first time.
Yep.
And it's lovely. We see them, going off on little adventures. Usopp telling them stories as they play, mm-hmm. and he makes his crew swear to keep their respective dreams alive. Carrot to run a tavern,
yep.
Pepper to become a master carpenter, and Onion to finally finish that novel that's been kicking around in his head.
Yeah,
which I can only imagine.
I don't know. How old do you think they are? Like 9?
To be honest, I think I declared I wanted to be a novel writer at a young age without having a novel in my head. So I'm giving Onion a lot of credit. He seems like a planner. I think he's got it. It's in there.
He's always the one running. He's always the one who notices things. So
yeah, he's got the. Yeah, he doesn't even have to make it up. He can just write down what he sees. And we end with, I hereby declare Usopp's pirate crew disbanded. Everyone's choking and, tearing up across from each other. And it was a pretty emotional chapter all around.
I think you did a fantastic job going through the itinerary of this chapter.
Thank you.
We got plenty of things to talk about.
Yes.
First thing on the docket, I'm just going to go in order of the chapter, is Luffy's continued introduction into the pirating world. This feels like these first few pages is kind of just reestablishing that. Because they're all like, who are you? And then he says his name, Monkey D. Luffy. Which is great. yeah.
Eric Sifu, Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's great. He has a D, I have a C. It's all great. Which is cool because they all I don't know who that is, but they know now. They're probably never going to forget. Especially because, after saying that, he throws Koro's body at them. So just like, you got to take this guy with you, which is cool. But yeah, any initial thoughts on that? Just kind of and then even what he talks about with Nami. This whole idea of
so
why did you hate them so much and all that stuff. It's all cool.
No, it's interesting. I think the thing about Luffy that I probably relate to the least in his mental vision of the world is his dislike of some of the pirate crews. Because in my worldview, and if I was to be more analytical about the way Luffy thinks, I would be there's no such thing as a bad crew member, just bad captains would kind of be where my mind would go. But he doesn't quite take that position, it seems like. He seems like earlier on we said after he was while he was dealing with Kuru in the last chapter, he was even telling them you're next, you know what I mean? You're not getting away with it. And so I think he has a larger streak for justice than I would tend to have. I'm a much more forgiving person than Luffy would be in these instances where they're dealing with a guy that can cat out of the bag and slash them all to bits, right? I have a little sympathy for their position. But no, and I also enjoyed him introducing himself to the pirate world, which makes sense. He's got to do it if he wants to be king of the pirates someday, right? It actually makes Luffy's announcements seem less dumb now that you've seen him multiple times. Yeah. Originally, when he yells out, I'm going to be king of the pirates, you're like, sure, you told 2 people. Great job, Luffy. But if he keeps doing it, it's going to be 2, 10, 20, and then the word's going to get out, right? It's what we want people to do with our podcast.
Right, exactly. Get the word out. Yeah, dude, I agree with you on this. I think... What was I gonna think? I think what he really hates is the philosophy behind Kuro, right? Because he also states I'm not gonna lose to a dude who wanted to retire, but retire for the wrong reasons. It's because in Luffy's eyes, it's you want to quit because essentially you got too many Grand Theft Auto stars, police stars on you. You know what I mean? Your rep, it got too hot. Your rep got too hot, and you can't handle it anymore.
It's fun for a little while in Grand Theft Auto, but then, you're just okay, I need a break.
Yeah, then you're I got to turn this off because I get too many cops. And it's the same thing, which is why Koro wanted to quit. And he hated that. And I think he also hated the fact that this crew was going to follow a dude who believed this. Because they did it out of fear. They didn't do it out of loyalty sort of deal, right? Not admiration, not out of anything like that he considers to be anti-Shanks. Because the Shanks crew is is his model. His model of what a modern major pirate.
Oh my goodness, I could tell. As soon as you said the word modern, I was like, I know the connection Eric's gonna try to make. We are.
I was getting there, dude.
Sung
a lot
together.
of things. Musicals this morning. Wham! It's all there. It's all there. Yeah. George Michael. It's all perfect. It's all perfect stuff. So yeah, it's cool. And I especially like what you're saying. Like eventually, if he keeps saying he's gonna be king of pirates, his dream starts becoming our dream a little bit. Don't you think? Like all of a sudden you're like, I want to see you do it.
Well, it's I think it's actually something I am not particularly good at. Of like, if you want to be something, you kind of have to do the thing and tell other people you are the thing.
Yeah.
And it's just it requires a lot of confidence is one word, and then also like sureness is probably the one that I lack more than that. Is just like you have to be sure that this is what you want to do. You have to say, I'm going to be king of the pirates, and know that that's true in order to say it in a way that is legitimate, so that you can follow through on it and be confident about it.
Totally. Awesome. Next part. All right, so this next section I'm calling A Little White Lie for a Little Peace of Mind. And this is in reference to... Yeah, it's pretty good, right? It's in reference to Usopp asking the food boys and Kaya to, like... Let's just mum's the word on this whole pirate attack thing. Which is a very, like... I don't know, innocent ideal, I guess. Like, one thing is... I know what Oda's going for, which is like, it's a sweet idea, but in all reality though, is that really the smartest idea? At least for me as a cynic, I'm like, I feel like you should tell the people so they can prep for it later.
But it's funny. I actually, my mind went similarly to where your mind went, but the thing that I thought of was, this is just like the smallest form of like government censorship, political control. Like we decide what information our populace needs to know, right? Us here can decide. And you bring up like, why does that matter? Because maybe they could prepare. Maybe they could. Because this also. This town actually nothing has happened to this town before, right? Yeah,
that's what they were saying, and they must. The reference must be that they're pretty far out of the way. Like it was a very slim chance that Koro landed on this place anyways. But in my head, I'm like, it happened, but it happened. And it could happen again.
Yeah, well, but it happened. And also, like, from our perspective, we just came from a town that had to, like, relocate twice because of it, So, like, maybe we could throw in some of that statistical information to make a more interesting decision. But I do get it from the perspective of it does two things, right? It's Usopp not wanting the limelight, so we get to see that very clearly, right? And it's a nice sentiment, right?
It is, and it also pays off our lies theme. Like this is literally,
end on a
like
big lie. End on a big lie that we can almost all get behind if we don't think too hard about it.
Right? Yeah, and it's just one of those things of like it is. He is thinking about their peace of mind in this the sentiment, like you were saying. So it's interesting. As an adult man now, I'm a little more like, probably not.
Yeah.
But I get exactly where you're going.
You gonna tell your kids about Santa Claus?
No, because that's okay until, I don't know. I'm okay with that one. But this is kind of like...
Okay, no, same thing. What a hypocrite.
I don't feel like that's the same thing. And then just to kind of pay off this little lie thing that we have thematically too, what I really did enjoy was the next panel of the villagers, the montage of the villagers kind of missing him.
That was cool. That was really touching in an interesting way of just like, even things you don't necessarily like love, or like maybe you love to complain about them, they become a rhythm in your life in a way that is important to people. So this was us saying Usopp's important to people.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's also a very cool, like, it was foreshadowed in the beginning of this arc about how they reacted to him yelling about pirates running around, which ended up being true because Luffy and like a bunch of pirates did show up, right? Like it ended up being true, first off, which is hilarious. Seems to be...
Well, you yell it long enough.
Right, exactly. Eventually it's going to happen. But yeah.
I'm going to be king of the pirates. Oh yeah, sure, eventually.
Right, eventually. But that's not a lie. I feel like that's going to happen. That's a desire. And it's also... What was I going to say? I think it also... It brought to mind, at least for me, the idea of like it takes a village to raise our children, right? That song.
Yeah.
Takes a whole village. Yeah, that dumb song.
Dumb song. I don't think I've heard it. But maybe I have heard it. Do you know who does it?
I don't know. I heard it at a choir
Okay.
concert back in high school, and they were very bad at singing it. Takes a whole village to raise our children. Which makes sense because I'm sure the village did end up raising Usopp. Because all we know is that Yasopp is with Shanks, and there has been zero clue about this Usopp mother.
Yeah.
All right, and I think, was it established that he lives by himself? Like, I mean, we can assume because he's just not.
We never seen him with anybody. I think we start off his life, right, with him waking up to go do his run through the village, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so we don't have much going on for a home life for Usopp.
Yeah, and then we also get the really cute line from the guy who was like, "Man, he didn't come this morning. I hope I wasn't too harsh yesterday." You know, and you know what? They were harsh yesterday because they were gonna kill him. Like they were.
It's true. I don't know if they would have actually taken that to the extreme of what they looked like they were gonna do, but yeah, it was quite a reaction from your local people that know you.
Yeah, so it's cool. I did like this moment. It's it feels like this is a very nice bow on top of this arc, trying to end it. Like this is a fun payoff. Especially because we see, like you just kind of mentioned, what he means to the villagers. And his lies, even what his lies and what Usopp is his lies. You can make an argument what he means to the villagers, because right afterwards we see what he means to the food boys, and we get to the heart of this, and even the title of this chapter, which is the disbanding of the Usopp pirates, which is very cute because the food boys and Kaya share this thing with Usopp, which is they share the fact that they like his lies, they like his tall tales. They even buy into it a little bit to kind of, they draw from it, not anger, but like, I don't know. What do you think? Like admiration?
Well, I think, it reminds me, this is like, because we actually have the flashbacks to when they met, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that we had a little bit of that when we talked about Usopp's lies and how they helped with Kaya.
Yeah.
And so this is like the second example, but actually works a little stronger, I think, especially since it's like I've had this person in my life, like growing up, and just there was someone who was slightly older that they had their ability to create stories is slightly stronger than yours.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to be around that person because they can it's like there's two sides to it, right? The older person telling the lie or the story has more inventiveness, but can't believe things as easily as a younger person.
Yeah.
But you as the younger person can be like, there's actually pirates over there. Like, let's get them. Or like in this case, I really liked it's Cerberus. Pursue him. Capture the dragon.
Fugly dog.
Yeah, there's this dog and this little lizard. Like, I think that is kind of showing the other side of, in this case, creating stories, lying as Usopp did, that is really, really beautiful.
Right.
And so I think that's super awesome.
And I wonder if this is just even a little bit of what, you're told to write what you know. Maybe this is how Oda kind of was growing up too, right? Just making up these stories. And, like, it makes sense because he's so... Like, look at this story. Look how imaginative it is. He must have been like a version of this. Or, like he had this person in his life. Somebody who's just really good at making... Like, you knew it was a lie. But buying into it, that's kind of the fun of it, right? Like,
well, yeah, and also it makes me think... I keep getting more sold on what I would label as the, potential ability for One Piece to appear childish. It would be like, now I'm picturing Oda doing this because he knows it's childish, because he knows these stories. It's almost like a test. Is your inner child still around? Can you act like Onion, Carrot, and Pepper and chase Cerberus anymore? Or are you going to flip these pages and be like, this is dumb? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think it's a challenge, Oda's putting us up to the challenge.
This is going to be really nerdy because this was a artistic pursuit that you and I both shared, which was improv, right? And like, I think in the beginning when I think improv appeals to so many adults because that's kind of like one of the few art forms that kind of still asks this question of you, and then it asks you to buy in. Like, we know we're doing improv, we know we're making stuff up as we go, but actually the people who are the best at it, especially when you see like really good improv, are the people who still buy into it and they have no problem really trying to sell this quote unquote lie or pretend to be pirates, like actual pirates. Like improv allows you to be a kid again, to chase the Cerberus, to find a dragon, and those scenes can happen. And the people who buy in the hardest end up making, in my opinion, the best kind of scenes and the most fun, because that's what entertainment ends up being. Right? It is a long form, a long-standing lie to the audience. But eventually, kind of like Luffy saying he's going to be Pirate King one day, if you believe in it hard enough and you say it hard enough, then it ends up being kind of a magical thing where it transports you of being, this is happening in front of us. Which makes me enjoy this art a lot more than...
gonna be a millionaire. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You gotta
believe, Eric.
You gotta keep saying it, man. You never know. You might make the next, I don't know, Amazon meets Uber type thing. I don't know what that would look like.
I'm gonna be a millionaire who gets there by selling baked goods. I'm gonna be a millionaire who gets there by selling baked goods. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and this is great. Just to kind of see this little backstory about the Food Boys and Usopp, because the very last page of this whole arc, last 2 pages, is this very tearful goodbye of the crew. Break it up.
Yes. No, it's really cool. I mean, we got 3 close-ups on each of our pirate members of Usopp's crew on the right, Usopp all the way on the left. They're all basically, I assume, dripping in tears, and then you see the space between them in the middle as they, go their separate ways.
Yeah, and this is in, the forest that they all, they're so comfortable with. This is the first place they met, right? Remember, because this is...
Yeah.
The location all of a sudden means so much, too, because the Food Boys have established, we know this forest like the back of our hand, man. Because this is where they played. For 5 years.
This is where we hunted Cerberus.
Yeah. For 5 years, this is where they live, It's very cute. It reminds me of that, when you graduate high school, you're all about to go your separate ways, right?
Yeah.
This is it. This isn't the end, but it feels very much I don't know if I'm going to see you again.
No. I guess, I think maybe a poetic way to add on to that would be on this last page, we have quite a bit of distance between Usopp and his pirate crew. And even if, in those moments when you're in high school and you're going to go separate ways, even if that physical distance isn't there, you kind of everything feels further spaced and slower. And it's just oof, you don't know why it's so emotional, but it is.
Yeah. That's all I got. Anything else you want to chat about for this chapter?
I did want to chat really quickly about Mary getting bandages by Kaya, which I kind of saw as a bit of a role reversal for Kaya, who's, it's a good character progression for Kaya. She's somebody who has basically been taken care of for quite a while. And over the space of, actually, how long has this been going on? Have we been fighting for weeks? Has this been a day?
No, it's only been a morning.
It's been a morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, over a space of not too long, because I guess there was at least the night where everything kind of went down leading to this morning. Kaya has done quite a bit, right? Learned about some treachery. She's had to walk a long distance, and now she's, competently bandaging up Mary. Just nice to see her character get a little bit in this chapter as well. Oh, and I want to slip into another thought really quick of, I really enjoyed Onion, Carrot, and Pepper yelling out what they want to be when they grow up. And it just reminds me of it. It's an interesting thing to think about when you're younger. Mm-hmm. You might have things like that. Similar to how Luffy still has that thing and still asserts it in a very dominant way. What was your thing? I've had some, when I was younger, and I had plenty that didn't pan out. I think the strongest were, I'm going to be a marine biologist. And I think
that's a good one.
I'm going to be a harmonica player. Those are some of my younger, more fun ones. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if you had any that you'd care to share.
Yes, mine was in the first grade, I really wanted to be a taxi driver.
Oh, see? It's so cool. And then, this is all before life tells you anything about what these jobs really mean or whatnot, right? Not that there's anything wrong with being a taxi driver, but marine biologist, harmonica player, taxi driver. It's just, we wanted them for some other reason than monetary value at the time,
Yeah, mine
at least a lot of the times.
I was so, even at a young age, I guess I was very interested in people and learning about people, and I figured taxi drivers get to meet so many people.
Dang,
right? Yeah,
that's inspiring,
right? And, they get to meet so many people, and they get to learn so much. And then we had an uncle living with us at the time, and I remember he was like, what if you get someone who doesn't want to leave your car? And that was enough to scare me out of the job. But I definitely, because how when you're young, one of my art projects in first grade was draw what you want to be when you grow up, and I definitely drew taxi driver. Like it
Right
was
on.
like that much of a desire. But I remember the sentiment of like, I feel like taxi drivers can have the most friends.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you if you ever want to. Nowadays, it's actually quite easy to try that gig out for like a day or two if you ever wanted.
That's true. That is true. You can just Uber people.
Yeah, Uber one person, and then when you're done, be like, you know what? I was just in this for the fun. You just paid me like X number of dollars. Let's go into Starbucks, have a drink together.
All right. Oh my goodness. No, I'm good. Now that I'm older, I've met plenty of strangers being like, it is a 50-50, and sometimes I don't want to gamble today.
Fair enough. No. With that, I think that's plenty of thoughts for today. I think if you want to get into some of the some of the OP got jokes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get to the ha. The first one is such an easy one, which is, what do you expect? A steak would be nice.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Luffy always concerned about the food. I had one even before that. It was just visually the way Kuro is flying through the air when he's chucked. Just like, take out the garbage with you, and like Kuro's in the air. Like this dominating figure, formerly Clawhador, brought to nothing, brought to just a joke, being chucked by Luffy in the air. Whew.
Yeah, being chucked. And then you know what's cool about that frame? It goes swoom, and you just see everything. The torn masthead that Luffy threw.
Yeah.
The pirate crew at the bottom, they're so defeated by him.
Yep.
And Usopp. They're so defeated by this 4-man crew right now, right? Like, so cool.
Oh, it is funny. It's when you're in the middle of the fight, it's hard to remember. It's not like, there's a big crew against a very small number of people.
Yes. Yeah, it is great.
Our heroes.
Our heroes, dude. That's as heroes as it comes. My next one, this actually is a moment that you kind of talked about when the food boys are getting reprimanded for their mornings. I liked Karen's mom going, "Where's the frying pan?"
Yeah. That was good.
Well, it was great because we know where the frying pan is. He used it as a weapon.
We know what it's done.
Yeah.
No, and actually that's what I had written down next. Basically, each moment with the pirate crew getting told off by their parents, because
they are still children.
Yeah, and one thing that's quite fun is early on you can notice that Onion's glasses are broken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which. It's like I think the first panel you see him, it's still quite a distance, and they haven't called it out yet, but you can. Yeah, even the very first panel where they're all talking. I don't even know. I don't know if in the previous chapters it was already broken, but I had not noticed that detail. Just another example of pay attention to the details, you will be rewarded, and we get the payoff with the parents saying, "And you broke your glasses again."
I know. Yeah, I feel like there's an optometrist somewhere. Or not an optometrist. Did I say it right? Yeah.
Yeah, optometrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I always get my itches wrong. But like optometrists in town must be making bank in the next few days here.
Yeah, with Kuro and
then Kaya just spent a
Onion?
bunch of money to make sure that Kuro got a non-stick glasses that he already broke. Or stick glasses.
That's true.
Stick-on glasses that he broke. Onion needs
Yeah.
new glasses. There's a lot of people who need glasses right now in the next few days here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's probably like one of the craziest technological innovations we've seen in the world of One Piece. I don't know if there's anything more technologically advanced at the moment than the glasses. I think so. Like, you have to be able to refine the shape of a lens so that it matches the lens imbalance inside your eye so you can see.
We're thinking too much about it. There must be a devil fruit somewhere.
You're right. There's a guy who devil fruit, and now he can touch glass, and it turns into the shape of someone else's eye.
Or I imagine that he's the guy, like, there's a devil fruit out there that's just that optometrist tool where they gotta, like, move around the lenses. So that's the whole abilities, where he just puts his glasses like finger glasses to your face, and he goes,
yeah.
1 or 2. 2
I actually really
or
hope
4.
Oh my goodness! I hope that anything that is slightly technologically advanced is all explained by devil fruit.
Devil fruit. Yeah, I agree.
And there's somebody that deals with it.
We already did it. We built it. We built this economy.
There we go.
Do you have any other ha-has, or should we battle it away?
No. This chapter ended on a nice, cathartic moment. I think it's time for the battle.
All right, let's battle. Let's feelings battle. Let's tears battle. I'm gonna make an audible with my choice real quick because we kind of already talked at length about the panel that I chose. So I'm gonna.
Oh my goodness!
So
did
why
you try
don't
to choose 8 panels again?
Yes, we're gonna choose all 17. But yeah, this section is our panel battle section, which, you know, if you ever want to participate in, where we throw panels at each other and be like, look at my taste, look how deep my tastes are, ha 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 ha, and then we sip our wine and gurgle it and then spit it into the spitting bowl. But that's what we do. We pit them against each other. So if you ever feel like participating and adding your spit take into the spitting bowl of the panel of your choice that you are making, email us at grandlinetourist@gmail.com, and we'd be more than happy to add your wine panel spit take into this bowl. This metaphor has gotten out of hand.
No, it's good. It's good. You gotta stick with it. I believe some of the most prided wines in existence are wines that were like chewed by some animal and spit out. So like, I think
that is
there's a business model here.
Off.
Yeah.
And if you want to read a manga that's all about wine, Drops of God, something like that. It's all about wine.
Oh, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, all about wine. Really anime setup, but it was fun. I read like a few chapters. Should I do yours first, or you want to see mine?
You called an audible. Get yours out here.
All right,
get it on the field of play.
Yeah, Omaha. There we go.
I you know what? We kind of even mentioned this one a little bit, but this is in the flashback. Yeah. Where we're learning about, you know, the adventures that Usopp and his little pirate crew had when they were younger. Mm-hmm. We have Usopp crouched behind a tree in the background yelling, "It's Cerberus! Pursue him!" And the food boys, Pepper, followed by Carrot, followed by Onion, chasing after what you described as a fugly dog, which, poor dog, but I guess it's a little bit of an ugly dog.
I know, but it's one of those really ugly, and because they're so ugly, it makes it kind of cute dog.
No, it's true. It's got the jowls, you know. It's got the face that doesn't quite make sense. Like, why is there so much loose skin on this face? What does that do for the dog? But either way, that dog is running out of the front, and it's a dog. It's not Cerberus, but you wouldn't believe that. You wouldn't know that by looking at the faces of Usopp's pirate crew.
Yeah,
so,
and I think my favorite part about it is that, and the reason why I decided to choose it, because we talked about it, is that Usopp's all the way in the back, hiding behind a tree.
There we go. The liar and the storyteller, you know.
Right.
Afraid of this little dog, maybe.
Yeah.
Or just like, no, maybe he just believes his own lies more than they do. He would never be able to chase after because it's Cerberus, you know. Maybe he's the more kid at heart of the
lies
all.
We tell ourselves and what we believe, man. It's awesome. So cool. Tells a lot. It's very
lovely
cute.
choice. Also, interesting, these panels, although in a flashback, were not as, it was a slightly different blackout technique. We didn't have the black
there's a
frames that we often did. We had like a gray hued, and they were I think more interspersed between
the actual
modern
moments.
day panels.
Yeah, it's more cinematic in the sense that like they're thinking about these flashbacks as they're saying goodbye, which is very cute.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have that Vitamin C song. I mean, at least in my head, playing in the background, right? Like the "Here we go on," right? Like, dude, it's great. I got it. Yeah. Pocket Bell.
Did you say is that Vitamin D?
Vitamin C? That was her name as an artist.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
who did the graduation song. Which I don't even know if kids now, when they graduate high school or college, still walk out to that. Like,
it's kind of funny. I always imagined it never changing, but I'm sure it does. Now
it's
we gotta go
that or that Green Day song, right? So it's both.
Yes. No, I wonder, have they stuck as the canon for those type of songs changed at all?
Right.
That'd be interesting to know.
Graduation. Gosh.
All right. I got a panel coming right back at you. Check it out. Chapter 40, panel battle, sent your way.
Okay, do I have the guess?
It's going to be... you know what? Because you've asked, now you have to.
I want to say it's the one that says, "What, Captain?" Yeah, that one, the big distance one.
That would have been a solid choice. But in this case, it's going to be the top left panel, actually.
Oh, that was my other choice. I like that.
For some reason, I do too.
So this is the one where he says, Oda does this a lot. When like something serious has just been said, he'll like white out the background, right? Like we know they're in a forest, so typically there would be like trees and stuff behind them with this shot. So this shot is the food boys all kind of looking straight into the panel because obviously they're looking at Usopp, and they're all just shocked. They all kind of have the same facial expressions. Only like little specks is blowing behind them. And they're just very
you can't even. I don't even know exactly what those are, but like they just add to like I don't know something about it, you know?
Yeah, to the moment. I think it adds to the drama of the moment. I imagine to be like little leaf particles because they're in a forest.
Yeah,
but this is after he tells them, right?
Yes, he's just told them that like I'm going off on my own, And
maybe they're fighting between like is he lying or is he Or
Yeah, I think it might be the pure shock of like, so he goes like, what does he literally say? I'm going off to sea alone. I'm going to become a real pirate. And then he smiles, and then we have their stunned faces, right? You know,
because you know what, and I was just gonna make this. It's probably an argument or like an interpretation, but maybe they already believe him.
We need to get a shirt that says it's probably an argument.
Yeah, I like that's just the idea that maybe they already believed him when he said it, you know. But they know that their captain lies, so they'll still push him on it. But maybe that's why they're so shocked. Yeah,
they can take what Usopp says to heart because that's what they've been doing, right?
For the
whether
whole
or not it is
years.
true or not, they believe it, you know.
Yeah,
it's part of their
really
life,
cute.
and so it's full on. And actually, just interesting note: has Onion already gone to that optometrist? Look at his little glasses.
They still kind of look beat up.
They look beat up, but before they were definitely cracked.
Oh.
So, you know what? This might be it. This might be the first time I would say I feel like I found a detail that, maybe it doesn't quite work out. You know, write us in, grandlinetourist@gmail.com.
Right.
Prove me wrong. I'd love to know how this fits into the world of One Piece if he potentially has just gone to the Devil Fruit optometrist, and that totally fits. But I don't see any cracks in there.
Oh, all right. Well,
but no, I love the panel. Love the shocked faces. And I think with that, it's time to run out to see ourselves, right?
Yeah, we gotta get out there, pursue our dreams of being a maritime. Shoot, man, I forgot what reference we made earlier. I don't know. I'll be a musical maritime lawyer. That's what it is. Musical
maritime lawyer. Well, yeah, you're a musical maritime lawyer that wants to have a little patrol boat that just invites people in and they take tours them around the island. And I'm a harmonica player that plays in the back. So actually, I think if you're down for it, you're the little patrol boat taxi driver, and I'm a little harmonica player in the back. Or I could be. I'm gonna get into your taxi. I'm the harmonica player that you just have to do a trip around the island.
And I'm just gonna make the sound of the rudder. Here we go. You all set? This is the interaction between the maritime taxi driver and the harmonica player.
Yo, I need a trip around the other side of the bay.
Yeah, come on in.
I don't mind. I'm setting up. Gonna
go ahead.
Whistle the old tunes.
Oh, I love
Tune the whistle.
I love the ocean in the spring. Yeah, that sounds real good. It sounds like you have a lot of hurt in your heart. You play those blues, boy. You play those blues.